Hi, welcome back to the MPS. So, as discussed last time, MPS basically forms is part and parcel of MRP1. What's MRP1? Good students, you must give me the answer. Ding ding, there you go. It's material requirement planning. So basically, what's crucial in here is to know that basically the product you need, the quantity you need, and how long it takes you to get an item. So I want to take you through the fixed ordered quantities and how to handle that using the MPS. Let's say I'm actually selling bikes, and I have a fixed ordered quantities of 50 bikes, and I have a lead time of 2 weeks for me to get my bikes from my supplier. I think that's a good it's a good timeline. That's a good lead time. For those who do not know the meaning of lead time, just Google it. So I can plan forecasted. This is just forecasted plans, by the way. So I can forecast that on week 1 I will need to supply 110 bikes, week 2 145, week 3 228, week 4 450, week 5 nil, week 6 154, week 7 nil, week 8 227, week 9 nil, week 10 300, and then I have already scheduled to receive 150. I have already scheduled a purchase order for 150. Scheduled a purchase order for 150 for week 2. That's 150. Okay, and what I have on hand starting today is 350 bikes. Okay, so how do you go about this? So in week 1, I'll just carry over my projected on hand, and that's 350 bicycles. Let me just type here. So I'll just take my 350 bicycles here, and I'll write it in blue. But I need to supply 110. So when I supply 110, what do I remain with? 240, right? So going into week 2, I am going with 240, but I have also scheduled to receive 150. But let's not run ahead of ourselves. So we have a fixed ordered quantity of 50 bikes, and it takes 2 weeks for me to get them. So 110. So what will be the net requirements? So after supplying 110, I'm left with 240 bikes. Do I have net requirements? Nope. Net requirement is 0. Planned order is 0. Planned receipt is 0. And planned order receipts is 0. So we carry forward our 240 bikes, and then we receive 150 because that's the scheduled receipt of 150. Let's just do the math down here. So in total, what's the projected on hand in week 2? Remember, we've carried 240 forward and we're receiving 150. So the quantity here is 240 plus 150 is 390. So we have 390 bikes, but we have a forecasted quantity of 145. So when we supply 145, how many bikes are we left with? That's right, 245. So do we have any net requirements to supply our demands? Nope. So the net requirement here is 0. So we are carrying forward 245 bikes from week 2 going into week 3. Let's start our math here. So we are having 245 and we are receiving nothing. So basically this is what we have here. But now we have an order of 228. So how many bicycles are left in stock? That's right, 17. So that's actually a positive quantity. So do we have any net requirements to fulfill the demand? Nope. So this is 0. So that is 0. So going into week 4, we had a requirement of 228. We had on hand 245. So here we have 17 bicycles. Whoa! I hope you are with me so far. So now we have 17 bicycles on hand, but we want to sell 450. So I have a difference of negative 433 bikes. So now I can see that I have a net requirement of 433. I'll put that in blue. Let me just keep it in blue. So I have a net requirement of 433. So I need to receive the 433 bikes in week 4. But now here's a master production schedule. So I need to receive 433. No, I don't need to receive 433. You know why? This is not lot for lot. This is fixed ordered quantities. I can only order 50 bikes. 433 is not 433 is not a multiple of 50. So what's the nearest multiple of 50? 450. So I want to receive 450 bikes on week 4. But for me to receive these bikes in week 4, I have to wait for 2 weeks. So in other words, I must make my order 2 weeks prior to the reception. Planned order receipts, planned order releases. This one is when I'm receiving it in my workshop or in my wherever I'm selling them from. And planned order releases is when they are being released from the supplier. So I need to count 2 weeks back. 1, 2. So I need to make that order in week 2. That's 450 bikes, so that I receive these bicycles in week 4. I'll put that in red. Okay, so week 5, what am I going with? What quantity am I going with? So there's 450, that was the supply. I only had 17, so I had a net requirement of 433. And so when I sell the 450 bikes, and of course I receive 450. So when I receive 450 and I sell 450, remember I had 17 on hand, so it's 450 plus 17, that's 467. When I sell 450, what am I left with? 17. So I hope you can follow. So 17, and in this week I have 0 requirements. So here I sell, so I carry 17 bicycles on hand into week 6. Now there's a real supply. There's a real focused now. We have 154. We have a demand for 154, and we need to supply 154, but we only have 17 on hand. So what's our net requirement? I'll just take 154 minus 17, so that's 137. So I have a net requirement of 137 bikes. So I need to have 137, so that 137 plus 17 gets me to, not 137, yeah, it's 137, yeah. 137 plus 17 gets me the 154 bicycles. And so during this week, I want to receive an order that will help me to meet this requirement. But I cannot buy 137 bikes. Why? Because our fixed ordered quantities is 50 bikes. So I can only receive a multiple of 50, which is close to 137, and that is 150. Okay, but for me to receive the 150, I must make the order. Remember, I have a lead time of 2 weeks, so I must make the order in week 4 so that I receive it in week 6. So let's just take this, and this is 150. Now when I receive 150, how much will I have on hand? I'll have the 150 plus 17, that's 167. So now I will have 167 minus 154, and what do I have? 13. So here I have 13 bikes, and then I have 0. So here I had 0 demand, 0 requirement, 0 demand, 0 requirement. So going into week 8, I go with a 13, but I have a requirement for 227. So how many bicycles do I need to supply this order of 227, so it will be 227 minus 13, and I'll need 214 bikes. So here I need to have 214 bikes in order to fulfill the requirement of 227. So if I'm to receive it in week 8, I must make the order 2 weeks before, but I cannot order 214 bikes. I have to order a multiple of 50 that's close, that can fulfill the requirement of 214. And what number is that? 250. And for me to receive 250, I must make the orders in week 6. So I'll just stick that and put it here. And there we go. That's 250. Whoa! So 250. Now how many bikes do I have in stock? I have 250 plus 13. It's 263 minus 227 is 36. So here I have 36 bikes going into week 9. I have no demand. I have no requirement. And then we carry the 36 bicycles into week 10. Now I have 36, but I need to meet a demand of 300. So what's the difference? What's my requirements to fulfill this demand? It will be 300 minus 36, that's 264. 264. But I cannot buy 264 bikes. I have to buy bikes in the multiples of 50. So here I'll just have to buy 300. And for me to receive them in week 10, I'll have to make an order 2 weeks before. So I'll have to make an order in week 8. And this will be 300 bicycles. Yep, so that's how you do the fixed ordered quantities. I will see you in the next one. Please pause and give your comments on this table. I'm not even sure if it's correct, but you can give your comments. See you in the next one, people. Bye.